Hello and welcome to another video of AWS Learning. Um, on this video, I'm focusing on path routing pattern, and so I will share this link. This is a great one to understand path routing. You can think about this particular routings by using different services. Maybe you can think about Route 53, load balancers, and I'm focusing on one specific example and application of that. And imagine that this is like kind of make it clear. Imagine that I have a load balancer and there is a target group of different servers, and then the idea here is based on the URL paths that comes to the application load balancer. We like to route traffic to different services. Something like, I guess, on the top of this page there is one example, and this is good. Imagine that we are looking at this. Actually, this is for like mostly for maybe Route 53 services. But imagine that in this example, this is like slash service A. So by having this URL, we like to direct traffic to servers that are providing service for this service A. And then if we receive another URL with the slash service B, we like to direct them to other services. So my example and the one that I'm doing test today is this one. This is something that I will look at that. In this example, users are sending traffic or requests to a load balancer, and this is application load balancer, and then we have two sets of target groups. In one target group, we are serving clients who are sending a traffic with the URL slash first, and the other target group is serving users who are sending traffic with application load balancer DNS name, and this time a slash second. Okay, and for this purpose I have two instances. I will launch two instances for each of these target groups to not only test the idea behind path routing, but also like test the load balancer, right? So I'm using two availability zones. US is 1A, US is 1B, and then one instance from each of these target groups are in this US is 1A zone, and one instance from any of these two target groups is in this US is 1B. Then I'm using this code, right? This is user data, and then on this user data we launch Apache web servers, and then you can maybe echo the instance ID there. I just disable it. So I put a message here to identify which servers is serving us in each moment. So these stars are, I will show you, these stars are to be filled later by maybe some numbers, because I like to see that what is the number of that EC2 instance, and based on the number I realize that which server is serving us. Then so we are starting the service, and then something that's important is when you go with that URL slash first or slash second, there are several ways to provide service from that directory or from that address. This is one way. One way is to, because by default it goes to index.html to do the health check for the target groups, right, for the targets. And also when you put the URL for load balancer by HTTP traffic, it goes default to this address, right? So this is the default, but when you put a slash first or slash second, you need to do something. Either you need to change the configuration file to direct that traffic to the same address, same index file, or you can create another file and you can just copy index file there, then you have same data, right? Also, so actually this is second and first, because in depends on again which instance we are launching, it should be part of first target group or second target group. Also, instead of doing that, imagine that we are using a PHP file for index, and then inside that PHP file you can say that if, for example, for test purposes, if the URL is ended by /first, then put this message. Is if that is /second, put another message, for testing purposes, right? But let's forget this part, and now we are looking to use this user data for launching instances. So let's start, and then something else to say is I am so this is my environment, AWS Management Console. I have one VPC here, project VPC in 172 range of IPs. I have a subnet 1, which is created in US East 1A/20, and I have another subnet, subnet 2, which is in zone 1B, and then you can see the details. So I have two subnets in two different availability zones, and they are public subnets, right? So the servers, they have access to the internet, just to make it easier, right? Just to do it easier. Otherwise, we should put these servers in private subnets. We should create NAT gateway, and then we should launch them behind NAT gateway, right? But for this purpose, I like to put them in public subnet in case we like to see and we like to check something on servers. That's easier for us, right? So this is the story. Now let's go and let's launch our first instance. So the name will be instance 1, right? This instance 1 is a default Linux machine, and then T2 micro, and then if I put just a keeper, whatever keeper, just in case we like to check anything on these servers by SSH, right? If you put them in private subnet, you don't need to put any keeper or any public IP address, but this is for testing purposes, and I put it there. So instance 1 will be in that like project VPC, and then for subnet I put it in subnet 1, right? So IP version 4 is there, that's fine. Leave SSH, by default SSH is there, so I leave it there, but at the same time I'm looking to add HTTP, right? So this is HTTP traffic from anywhere, so this is there. And then for user data, let's go to advanced details. Let's copy user data, and then let me copy user data here. So this is copy. And now what I need here, I don't need this like second one because this is part of my first target group. And then I guess that's it. Oh, and here from instance 1, or maybe 1 just to make it very clear that what is that. So instance 1 and then the message comes from instance 1. Then this is when we put a /first, and this is done. So let me copy this one because I need to have two instances with the same idea. So let's launch it, right? So this is launch, and now let's go to create another one. Another one is instance 2, and then same everything, just in case keeper. For networking, I put it in my project VPC. Subnet this time is 1B, right? Each one of these two in different availability zones, and we put these two instances in one target group. And then let's see, SSH is there. Let me enable HTTP and from everywhere. And then for user data, I paste it here. And then only thing is that I need to put instance 222, right? This time instance is 222, and then everything else is same. When we put a slash first, we should have this instance serving us, or instance 1. This is launch. Now let's go to instances, launch another one, and this is instance 3. So I'm just quickly go to instance 3, again Wokey, and again let's go to put it in project VPC. This is again in 1A, and then for security group, let's go to HTTP. HTTP, where are you here? From anywhere. And then for user data, let's go there. And this time I like to put them in like second target group. So I need this really second one. So I need this. I do not need this first. So really I put them in the second one. And this is from instance 323. And then when you put second, and everything else should be okay. Let me copy here for the next one. So launch, and then the last instance, which is here. So launch instance again. This is our instance 4. Same everything. Let's go to Wokey, and then this Wokey is just like a key right here. Can be any keeper. I put it in project VPC. I put it in subnet 1B, and then let's also add HTTP from anywhere. Access is allowed, and then for user data, let's go to put it here. This is coming from instance 444, and then when we put a slash second, and then done. So this is done for instances. I make maybe I can go ahead without making a pause. Why? Because we need to first go with like target groups, and I guess we can go to target groups like very like slowly. So let's go with target groups, and I can create it right now, I can create it later, right? Let's do first something. Let's first create a load balancer and test, right? Test the load balancer and the instances first. So let's create an application load balancer here. So this is my ALB, internet facing, IP version 4. This works in my project VPC, which is good. So it's very important because our instances are in 1B and 1A, so we need to select at least these two. So we should select at least two AZs, so 1A and 1B has our instances. Then for security group, we check it later to have correct policies. And then HTTP AT rule is for the listener. For target group, I can go and create a new target group. Has instances. This is my first target group, right? And then HTTP AT, and then it works in for project VPC, and then it checks the root, and then next. In this first target group, I put instance 1 and instance 2, right? And then I include it, and then I create target group. This is first target group. Let's go to another target group. We can do it right now, or we can just leave it. Let's leave it. Let's come back and finish load balancer, test it, and then come back. This is first target group, and then everything else can be like by default, and then we are done. So this is our load balancer, and I'm waiting for load balancer to be provisioned properly. Alright, so now the status is active. Let's do something. Let's first check the security group of the load balancer. Be sure that let's go to edit inbounds, and then let's do something. Let's delete this one. We don't need it actually. Let's go to HTTP, and let's be sure that HTTP is allowed from anywhere on this load balancer. Done. So let's come back to load balancer. Everything is active. This is the DNS name. We can copy that, and I can open another URL, and I can go ahead with, just let me bring it here. Okay, so as you see, this application load balancer, I received a message from instance 1, right? If I refresh it, then it goes to instance 1, instance 2. So load balancer works, target group works, instance 1 and 2 are working. Now it's time to change something on load balancer side. Okay, so if we look at, let's keep it here. Let's look at the load balancer, and this is the main job for this activity. If you see here, for listeners and rules, we have one rule here, and that rule is a default one. Default rule says if any traffic comes to this load balancer by HTTP, it will be forwarded to a target group, first target group, and this is the first priority, like default priority, right? Now let's do something. Let's go and first create another target group. This is my second target group, HTTP again, and then this is on project VPC. Everything is done by default, and then this time instance 3 and instance 4 is being included in that one. Done. So for target groups, first target group for sure should have 2 healthy instances, and for the second target group we should also have 2 healthy instances. After a while it's already under like test. But let's go back to the load balancer and rules and listeners, and let's go to this rule. I have one rule, I like to add more rules. Now what is the story? So for the rules, this is like another rule, right? So another rule is I can put a condition here, and that condition is, let's say, check the paths, right? I like to say that if any URL has ending as first, then so end to first, then forward it to the target group, and target group is first target group, right? And then so if there is more than one target group, we can put a wait here, but because it's just only one target group, so 100% goes to this target group, we are fine. And next priority is 1, like the lowest number, highest priority, and then next and create. So another rule is created here. It says if the URL ends to the first, then traffic forwarded to first target group. Let's add another rule for another condition. We say this time if it ends to second, then what happens, it will be forwarded to second target group, and then next, and then this is like priority 2, no matter which one is first, which one is second. Finally it checks the match, and the next and create. Now I have 2 new rules with like matching the pattern, /first/second, first target group, second target group. Now let's come back to target groups, and let's see in second target group is still you should wait for, okay, now I have 2 healthy, which is fine. Now let's come back to our URL. So if I go with URL again, it just by default it move between instance 1 and 2. Let's go here and let's say /first. So I can slash first should go to first target group, and target first target group has again instance 1 and instance 2, which is good. Now let's change it to second, right? If it's second, it should go to the second target group that has instance 3 and 4. So if I again double click to refresh the page, or click on refresh the page, it goes on instance 3 and 4. So slash second goes to instance 3 and 4, and slash first goes to instance 1 and 2, right? So it works, right? And based on the URL path, it receives services from different instances. So again, this is the important part of this video, which is going to load balancers and listeners and rules. And by default, always we have a rule. Now we have added 2 more rules to check the pattern. Okay, I hope you learn the concept behind path routing. Enjoy doing this project yourself. Thank you.